Hey guys, this is a quick refresher on how to use Diet and Wellness Plus and how to do the initial diet analysis assignment. Be sure to, this is the homepage of Diet and Wellness Plus, be sure to join our course using the course key. You can paste that in from the announcements on Canvas. Okay, it's really important that you're enrolled in the course so that I can assign you reports. Under this tab here with all of the data, you'll see the report just right here under my assignments that I assign you, and I can't grade your assignments otherwise if I'm not able to see the data that you're putting into the software. Okay, so it's really important that you submit that report. If I don't have it, I will give you a 0 on the assignment until I do have it. So I will later grade it, but you will lose points for not submitting it right away. So that's very important. Submitting the report is very easy. You'll just click Start for the assigned report that's in this section. I don't have a report assigned to me as the instructor, but you'll just hit Start, select the correct dates, and hit Submit. It's very easy. Okay, so most of you have gotten started or finished entering in all your food under this Track Diet section. You're entering in the food from your 3-day food journal. Just a quick refresher on how to add food. You just type in the food that you're looking for, find the product that best matches, if there is a product that matches, and you can change the unit of measurement or the size estimate for this apple. If you think it was about a medium-sized apple, you would select that, and then you can select the meal you want to add it to or snack. Okay, and you just hit Add, and then the apple shows up in my breakfast. Okay, so pretty easy for that one, but I also want you to search name brands of things. An example we used in class was Rice Krispies. Don't just select cereal or bread or things like that. I want you to actually find the correct brand, the most accurate item. Okay, so Rice Krispies, add that to breakfast, add item. If you want to delete or edit anything, of course it's right here. I'm going to delete that item. If the brand of food you search is not in the database, you can create a custom food, create new food, and you would look up the nutrition information online, okay? And you would put in all the information here, all the information available online you would put in. Of course, not every vitamin and mineral is going to be available online. That would be very rare. But all of the nutrition information available you put in here, click Save, and then follow the same steps to search for your custom food, and it should come right up. Grams per serving are required. If it's a beverage, note that milliliters and grams are the same, or you can do a conversion, but the weight is not always included on the label. So if it's not, you may have to make something up and play with it a little bit. Sometimes it's finicky when you're making up a number. And it just wants, I believe it wants it to be higher than the grams of the macronutrients combined. So just keep that in mind if it's giving you a hard time and the grams are on the nutrition label that you have available. So yeah, just click Save and then search and Track Diet, and your custom food should be there. The recipe tools we went over, the tool we went over in class as well. You can just add, I'll show my smoothie example, add ingredients and the number of servings, and it will give you nutrition information for the recipe you used. All right, so once you have everything input for one day, you'll change the date and then enter everything in for day 2 and then day 3. And once you have all the data in, you can go ahead and submit me your report at that point. Okay, this assignment, the initial diet analysis assignment that we're doing is just interpreting the data, just practicing looking at the reports and pulling the correct information. You'll be using this assignment, this Word document for all of your upcoming labs. We're going to look at the calories you're consuming, and then we have a carbs, fat, and protein section. okay, that you'll be pulling the data from right here. You can also pull it directly from Diet and Wellness Plus, but the reason this document is so important is because I am grading it, so you know all of the data on it is correct for you to then use on future assignments. Okay, so let's take a look. It's worth 3 points to submit your report. This assignment says to include an attachment, but I prefer you just submit the report in Diet and Wellness Plus. That will take care of that. It is the 3-day average report that I've assigned you. Okay, so it's worth 3 points to turn it in on time. If you don't turn it in on all, if you don't submit the report at all, then I cannot grade your assignment. Okay, so let's go over some examples as a refresher. So the calories section, it says refer to your 3-day average report. Okay, remember every question has a bolded report that you should be looking at. So it's very important that you're looking at the correct report. So it says look at the 3-day average report, list the calories that are recommended by Diet and Wellness Plus, and then list your actual 3-day average intake. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Diet and Wellness Plus. I'm in this reports tab, and you can see lots of different reports here, lots of different ways the data is presented. So for this assignment, we're going to be looking pretty often at the 3-day average report because you entered in 3 days worth of food, and we're going to be looking at an average of that. So it says for calories, to look at what's recommended, that is found in the DRI column. In the intake column is your actual intake. Okay, so you can just go ahead and copy and paste. So DRI stands for dietary reference intake. This is our calories, kilocalories, calories, it's the same thing. So the calories recommended is 1832. And then you'll just go ahead and paste that in. Okay. Fix the formatting for me as you go along. Please highlight your answer. And then same thing here. My actual intake was 1885. And I'll paste that in there. Okay, and highlight. All right, in the carb section, let's see, it says again, for this question, it says we'll refer to the 3-day average report and the macronutrient ranges report. So for A and B, it says list the range of carbs recommended by Diet and Wellness Plus, and then list your actual 3-day average carb intake. So for A and B, we're looking again at the 3-day average report. Okay, so we're already there. So we're in reports. We hit the 3-day average report, and I totally skipped over something really important. Okay, every time you open a report, you need to make sure you have 3 days, your correct 3 dates at the top. Okay, if you don't have the correct 3 dates, then the numbers are on the report that's displayed are going to be different than the report you submit me, and you'll lose a lot of points. Okay, so every time you open a report, you got to make sure your 3 dates are correctly in there. So I only have one example day, so I'm just using the one, but you will have the correct 3 dates that you entered in food every time you open a report. Okay. Okay, so back to the carbs. So the recommended range of carbs, so in carbohydrates, the DRI, we would just go ahead and copy and paste. Okay, I'm just gonna paste it right there and then highlight. And then our actual 3-day average intake can be found right here under the intake column. Okay, so pretty easy so far. Now it says we're going to look at a different report. So the AMDR for carbohydrates is 45 to 65% of calories from carbs. Okay, so remember the macronutrient distribution range, that's the AMDR. The carbs, fat, and protein are our 3 macronutrients, and we want a certain distribution of them. We want our calories to be made up of a certain distribution. All right, so we're going to look at our percentage of calories from carbohydrates, and it says to check the macronutrient ranges report. So be sure when you're on this 3-day average report, do not look at this percent of DRI column. Do not. So people see the percent and they automatically go here, but I promise that the diet that I put in on that example day, I did not eat 100% of calories from carbs. This is a percent of the DRI. So my intake was within this range. So they're saying I met the recommendation. That's all that is. It is not the percent of calories from carbs. So the bolded report was the macronutrient ranges report. All right. So I'm going to, and it says for each day lists the percentage of calories from carbohydrates. So that's kind of funny. My example day was exactly a year ago today, but I'm going to make my start and end date the same, and that will isolate one day that I'm looking at. So I scroll down to carbs. You can see what's recommended is that 45 to 65%. I stated that in the question. And then my actual intake is here, this 53% of calories from carbs. So that means of the calories I consume, 53% were calories from carbs. Let's see if it's going to let me highlight it. Nope, I don't think so. So I'm just, if you're not copying and pasting, you can go ahead and round to the nearest whole number. That's totally fine with me. So I would just say like day 1, 53% calories from carbs. Okay. And then I would go back into the report and I would make the start and end date the same for the next day. And then I would scroll down and look again and put the day 2 percentage of calories from carbs. Okay. Was I within the AMDR range? So that AMDR is 45 to 65%. 53% is within that range. So I would just say yes or highlight the yes. Okay, in class we went over the DRI for added sugar is less than 10% of calories from added sugar. All right. So you do have to do a little bit of math for this next question. Number 3 says look at the 3-day average report and find your total sugar intake in grams. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, go to the 3-day average report, make sure my dates are correct, and then I'm going to scroll down to total sugar, and it says I had 144 grams of sugar. So I will just go ahead and paste that into the assignment. Okay, so fix the formatting as you go along. I know it gets kind of annoying. And then we're going to calculate our percentage, what percentage our total calorie intake was sugar. So I give you the formula right here, so you really just plug in your numbers. So it says to take the number of grams of sugar, so I had 140, we can round up to 145 grams of sugar. We're going to multiply by 4 calories per gram because sugar is a carb and carbs have 4 calories per gram. And 145 times 4 is 150 times 4 is 600 minus 20 is 580, right? I think. It would be embarrassing if I get that wrong. Calories from sugar, and then we're going to divide by the total calories that we consumed. So we're looking at the 3-day average, and we're going to look at this actual 3-day average calorie intake. So I'm going to divide, oops, I went too far. Divide that 580 by 1885 total calories. Okay, so you just plug in your own numbers to this formula that I have listed here. All right. Okay, I'm going to go over the source analysis report quickly here. Okay, we're going to find the food highest in sugar for each day. So again, when we're isolating each day as that keyword, you're going to make your start and end date the same. You can select a specific nutrient, total sugar is what we're looking at, and you scroll down and find all the different foods and it tells you how much sugar is in each one. Okay, so you scroll down and it looks